5 UFO sightings in July 1952 in different world places. One, 1952 Phoenix, Arizona UFO, July 7, 1952. This photo was taken the same as Roswell. But it was also taken on anniversary of the UFOs over the White House, which occurred July 7, 1952. 2, July 16, 1952, Salem, Massachusetts. During the peak of the 1952 UFO flap, Shel Alpert, a USCG seaman on duty in the Coast Guard Weather Office, at the Salem Coast Guard station, saw 4 brilliant lights in the sky. He called another guardsman to see the lights, but in those few seconds the lights had become more dim. When they brightened again, he quickly took a single photograph through the window of the office. This photo has been published in many books, newspapers, and magazines. 3, 1952, Lac Chauvet, France, July 18th. A collection of pictures that have been filed and studied by the French GEPAN, then SEPRA state-financed investigation committee, and considered genuine. The photograph was taken by André Fregnale. The image underwent an investigation by Claude Poher, director of the GEPAN, and he deemed that the photograph was not a fraud, but a genuine UFO. 4, 1952 Washington, D.C. UFO incident. At 11:40 p.m. on Saturday, July 19, 1952. Edward Nugent, an air traffic controller at Washington National Airport, spotted 7 objects on his radar. The objects were located 15 miles south-southwest of the city. No known aircraft were in the area and the objects were not following any established flight paths. Nugent's superior, Harry Barnes, a senior air traffic controller at the airport, watched the objects on Nugent's radar scope. He later wrote, "We knew immediately that a very strange situation existed. Their movements were completely radical compared to those of ordinary aircraft." Barnes had 2 controllers check Nugent's radar. They found that it was working normally. Barnes then called National Airport's other radar center. The controller there, Howard Cocklin, told Barnes that he also had the objects on his radar scope. Furthermore, Cocklin said that by looking out of the control tower window he could see one of the objects, a bright orange light. "I can't tell what's behind it." 5, Passaic, New Jersey UFO, July 1952. On July 29, 1952, George Stock of Passaic, New Jersey, was in his yard with a friend when at about 4:30 p.m., they noticed a strange aircraft in the sky. Stock ran into his house to find his camera, and when he returned, he took 5 photos of the strange circular object. As the photos were being taken, the pair watched as the craft hovered slowly across the sky. At an altitude of about 200 feet, approximate 61 meters. It then paused for a moment, before taking off at high speed. It was during this time that Stock took off, after the UFO, to get the remaining 2 photos. Shots which were tilted as he frantically tried to capture it on film. The photos was described as being a solid metallic disc with a transparent semi-projected dome on top. It was blue-gray in color and its flight was silent. Stock and his friend agreed it was about 30 feet in diameter, about 10 meters. Considering these images of what may have been a UFO were so clear, they received very little attention. And for a good reason. The various agencies in control asked media outlets and the police to stop taking on reports and reporting UFO events, as they were coming in too fast to handle news of UFOs.